So, tell me today, I live in Mumbai.
The Commissioner of Police has gone on record admitting that he had intelligence.
How do you enter?
The question is, if he had intelligence like this, then should this protest march have been permitted at all? Protest march, let me tell you, share certain facts.
You're saying it should not have been permitted.
There are certain things I can share with you because I have worked as the Commissioner of Police.
Please do.
The people who organized this, they lack credibility. And there are records in the police which show that there are certain people who are organized who cannot be trusted. I had bad experience with some of these people. In 1988, there was a similar promise made on this Salman Rushdie book, and the police had to resort to firing where 10 people were killed. Ultimately, they betrayed the trust.
So
now,
then why
with
are they
all
allowed
this
to
background material and the type of people who had organized this, it is not only this, academy, that Raza Academy. There were other many motley groups of small Muslim organizations who are not well known, whose credentials are not known to the police. Now, before granting this, it was a very emotive issue, as Himanshu has already said.
Yes.
Now, considering the fact that it is a very emotive issue, considering the fact that it is being organized by people who lack this credibility, and considering the fact that this is an issue which is pertaining to Burma and Assam, what has it to do with Bombay? And therefore, if you ask me frankly, I think police should have been very circumspect while considering the request for permission.
Why then?
It should have been possible to avoid this. But now you say that I'm trying to get wise after the event is over.
No, I'm not even saying that. I'm not saying that. So I have two facts here. One is there's a possibility of trouble, Himanshu.
There was every possibility of trouble.
Possibility of trouble.
There is evidence and the record, intelligence is there that lots of preparations were going on.
Very good. So second point is precedent is there which should cause people to worry. Third is you today, Himanshu, have evidence that people came very well planned. They got onto a train in Mumbai armed in a manner that they did. Now I am very worried, and all of people in Mumbai will be worried that what's going on in our city. It's a free for all. You can get on a train, carry out a riot somewhere and then come back.
And attack police and the media, which has never happened.
Molest lady constables.
It has never happened. It's a complete breakdown. Or is it politically motivated? No one is willing to answer that.
You're asking that a second time.
Second time, yes, because there's something wrong with our the functioning of our state cabinet.
Why would you not pull back permission to hold such an event? Yeah. That's point number one.
There's no unity within our
Let him reply. Let him reply. Yes. Himanshu.
Arnab, conviction is the luxury of those who occupy the sidelines. Let me explain the situation to you. We have been given an application for a peaceful demonstration. Over a period of time, we understand on the eve of the event that the crowd is going to be larger than expected. It's a developing situation. There is a Hobson's choice between allowing the event to go ahead and containing it and banning it and having those mobs which would have landed up there spill all over the streets of Mumbai. These are not easy decisions to take. These are professional decisions. There can be pros and cons. There can be views on this.
Himanshu,
but there is a professional view, Arnab, bear
Himanshu,
with me.
1 second. I just want to bear with me. I want to ask a follow-up here. Himanshu, see, I'm not taking away from the good work you've done, but I'm going to ask you if you have two choices, right? One is to avoid violence, and then the second option is to see if there will be violence, and if there is violence, hope to contain the violence. Why would you choose the latter? Why would you?
Because that is not the choice, Arnab. The choice is between certain violence. Sometimes if you ban this at the last minute, these lumpen elements which would have collected here, the crowds which have collected here, disperse all over the city. It's much more difficult to contain them then. If things spread, they acquire a communal overtone, they go into Hindu areas, there are stabbings and the rest of it. We've seen all of that.
I will have to disagree with Himanshu here. You see, for the last few days before this march was organized, there were messages being exchanged and speeches being delivered and quite provocative.
Yes.
And it was quite indicative that there would be trouble on the day the protest march is organized. Now, considering all these facts, there should have been, or there could have been, some effort to call these fellows and tell them to just call it off. And I'm sure they would have. And they have listened in the past. just tell them, call it off. It is not the opportune moment, and there is no relevance of this. It is not a question of confronting the people who are organizing.
Otherwise, the fear
and
is...
if it comes to confronting, sometimes probably that is the better option.
Otherwise, the fear is that they will be calling the shots. Now, Bachi wants to come and follow up on that to you. Himanshu, I'll give you equal time. She's concerned with what you just said. Yes, Bachi.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm a little alarmed by this Hobson's choice business, and I'm not just alarmed. Honestly, I'm quite ambivalent. I'm not very sure. I'm not completely convinced that what Himanshu is saying is not right. Because, I mean, we have seen the pattern of violence in the past. We do know that if you're not, I mean, I don't know really, if you're not corralled in one place, you can go and create a huge problem outside.
Elsewhere.
And I will accept, and as I said even at the beginning, that I will accept that a lot was done to contain the situation. Let us not undermine that. We may say that, okay, they acted after the event, but let us not undermine what happened.
The question is, yeah, okay, go on.
My question here really is that, you could have, as Mr. M.N. Singh says, you could have impressed upon Raza Academy that, look, things are getting too far. This is our intelligence. Though, of course, Raza Academy and the people concerned with it were the ones who were distributing the inflammatory video clips. And you may say emotive, you may say whatever, but at the end of the day, it's innocent people getting shot and killed and 3 lakhs worth of buses getting burnt.
Yeah.
But the point is that at this point of time, I think we are in a good place, that where the Muslims are speaking with plural voices, that the Muslim leaders themselves have come up and said that what has happened is completely wrong.
That's good.
So you could have gone earlier to the Raza Academy and they would have listened.
Maybe it's a lesson. Now, maybe it's a lesson. I also must say this. My experience has been that when there is strong political will, has got to be backing strong police action.
Yeah.
Police action does not happen in a vacuum, does it? However, the points that Himanshu is making, Gurbir, my question to you is, you have decisive police action has to be backed by decisive political thinking as well. And some of these situations require the political leadership to step forward. You agree with that?
I do. You see, in fact, I think they had a right to hold a protest.
Yeah.
I think Mr. M.N. Singh is a little off on that because, it is an issue. Assam is a very big issue. Now, the point is, politically, it would have been insane not to allow any form of protest. At the same time, the question which arises is basically, if all the investigation and all the knowledge was there with the police, what did they do before the meeting to try and contain it? Were there any steps taken to sort of interface with Raza Academy, with the other leadership? Did you try and talk to them, Himanshu? Did you sort of,
we want to hear from him. I'm running a little short, but, I welcome this intervention. Himanshu, answer that, please.
Thank you. Thank you, Gurbir. First of all, you have exemplified the Hobson's choice I was talking about. It's a question of running foul of the civil liberty activists or of those who are wise in hindsight. This is a choice we face every day in our daily lives, and I'm glad that this has come up in this debate. These are not easy choices to make. I must say there was no political interference, though we do not operate in any kind of a political vacuum. There was no political order on us to take action or not to take action. Whatever decisions were taken have been taken professionally. As has been correctly said, what is important is that the Muslim community has risen as one voice to condemn this violence. They have apologized. Today, Muslim leaders came and visited us, senior police officers, and they have apologized to us. They're going to visit the injured policemen and policewomen in the hospital. I think a very good message is being sent by this, and they have told us clearly, please take action against all these elements who have created trouble. We are with you. Mumbai stands as one city, whether Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, or any other persuasion, and I think that's a wonderful message which is going out from all of us.
Absolutely, and I think that message goes out very strongly to all the people who want to look at the situation, whether in Assam or elsewhere, and say that there is a communal twist to it. For all those people trying to derive a communal twist to what is a law and order problem, this should be a message clearly for them. Now, Himanshu, I thank you for coming today, because not very often that I get a serving police officer to come on the show. So I want to thank you for coming today, for taking those questions. I didn't want to put you in the dock. Actually, I'm more used to putting a politician in the dock. But I don't mind an opportunity once in a while to get a policeman on the dock. And I want to thank you for coming today. Gurbir, you want to make a last point?
Yes, a very scary sociological thing, which is not putting Himanshu in the dock, but something else, which is that whenever it's actually advocacy groups, rights groups and mobilizers, moment their issues start falling flat, the media has become a target. It's a scary thing going on.
Oh, yes.
Anna Hazare, who you, Arnab, did a lot to build up, once the movement went down, you had, crews getting scuffled at, beaten up in
Shoot the messenger.
Delhi. So, this is a very scary
That's your
thing.
challenge, Gurbir, as the head of the press club, to take that forward.
So how do we
I'm glad you made
this,
that point. I simply make a point, just do your job. And I think we also salute the spirit of all the journalists who were in the line of fire that day. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for that. Thank you, Himanshu.